I have no doubt that this video may end up surprising some of you. And as we go through the video, I'm sure you'll have much to consider in finding out if you're with the right Filipina and also understanding if love is a decision we all make or don't make. You can be sure these two important questions are pivotal in your relationship or future relationships. So having a good understanding on each may be vital to your success or failure. So to find out more, be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're searching for a Filipina and are not sure where to start, then why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment and description of this video to the Philippines' #1 dating site, Christian Filipina, where it's free to join via a basic membership and view tens of thousands of beautiful Filipina profiles right now. Now, just before I dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, then I offer you a warm welcome. And if you like what you see, then consider subscribing and turning on the bell notification for all future videos. I have no doubts that we all assume that we're with the right woman whenever we start a relationship, but how can we really know? Of course, it always takes two to tango in any relationship. And it goes without saying that no relationship is ever guaranteed to succeed, no matter how compatible we may be or how much we may love each other. It is true, as the saying goes, sometimes love just isn't enough. Many decent people may find throughout their life that they have struggled to maintain a good and healthy relationship for the long term. Now, this isn't always because you or your partner did something wrong. Quite often, it's because of the things that we don't do. Some of those things we may never have heard of. So if that's the case, we can't apply in our relationship what we're yet to learn. Right here, I want you to start looking at relationships and whether or not you need X amount of love to succeed long term. Because one must know there is no magical formula, and really hear what I'm about to tell you. I base this information not only on my 8 years of finding, dating and marrying a wonderful Filipina who's given me a life I could never have imagined, but also by chatting with many foreign men and Filipinas over the years, as well as my professional experience as a relationship counsellor for well over a decade. So you see, I'm not just some random guy giving my opinion without much time spent on research and learning over a long period of time. And what I say here may just be a game changer for you, and not only how you approach your relationship at the start, but also how you approach it well into the future. What I'll tell you is that every relationship has a cycle. In the beginning, you fall in love with your partner. You anticipate their calls, want their touch, and like their idiosyncrasies. Falling in love wasn't hard. And in fact, it was a completely natural and spontaneous experience. You didn't have to do anything. And that's why it's called falling in love. People sometimes in love will say, "I was swept off my feet." Now, picture that expression. It implies you were just standing there, doing nothing, and then something happened to you. You can be sure that falling in love is a passive and spontaneous experience. But after a few months or years of being together, the euphoria of love fades, and you can be sure that's a natural cycle of every relationship. Slowly but surely, phone calls become a bother, if they come at all. Touch is not always welcome when it happens, and your spouse's idiosyncrasies, instead of being cute, may drive you nuts. The symptoms of this stage vary with every relationship, and you'll notice a dramatic difference between the initial stage when you're in love and the much duller or even angry subsequent stage. At this point, you and or your partner might start asking, "Am I with the right person?" And as you reflect on the euphoria of love that you once had, you may begin to desire that experience with someone else. This is when relationships break down, which I'm sure most of us can relate to. Right here, I'll tell you something that you need to carefully consider, but it does take a bit of a shift in your thinking. And that is, the key to succeeding in a long-term relationship is not always finding the right person, because is there such a thing? When we look at a person, and no matter how much we love them, after a period of time we do start to see their faults, as she will no doubt do with your faults. This is all part of being a human being. Simply, none of us are perfect, and we need to really understand that from the very start. Yes, for a period of time we may think that she's perfect, but you can be sure she isn't. If we're seeking perfection in anything or anyone, then we'll certainly end up being disappointed long term. We may have been taught all our lives that falling in love is a feeling, but what we must understand is feelings are triggered by our brain, which in turn is triggered by our thoughts. Everything we say, do or become is because of our thoughts and the decisions we make, and finding the right Filipina is no different. So does it matter that we may be attracted to her, but we don't find other things about her stimulating? Most people will say, of course it matters. But I'll say I've seen many such relationships succeed long term where the couple is very happy. Just look at arranged marriages that some countries still have today, or going back to the 1800s when a young woman may have been pledged to a close friend of her parents. Now, I'm not saying we should revert to those days, or that all these relationships were happy and successful, but I am saying a good portion of them worked out very well, and there's a very good reason for this. The couples involved came to understand that no one person is perfect, and they accepted their partner as imperfect. They knew and prepared in their mind that they won't always agree, and in fact sometimes they may get annoyed or frustrated by their partner, and so they focus more on the positive things they see in their partner rather than the negative things. For example, let's say a Filipina is in a relationship with a much older man. Many will wonder how someone could be so happy in such a relationship. Well, I'll tell you, it's because her mindset is what I've been talking about right here in this video. She understands the man has many more qualities inside him than he may on the outside, and she's made the conscious decision that he is the right person for her. And the same may apply to the man in any type of relationship. Simply, you make the decision that this person is the right one for you, and by making that decision, it will be so. You then understand that she won't be perfect, especially after the honeymoon period wears off, and you'll be prepared for the things that may annoy or frustrate you. But still, you've made a commitment to all the other good qualities and traits she has, knowing you can have a good life together. You can be sure that yes, you make the decision on who you love or don't love. We all have that control within ourselves, and from there we choose consciously if the Filipina is the right one for us. Once we have that firmly locked into our mind and have committed 100%, then this becomes so, and there are no more decisions to make. And so we focus on forging a solid relationship together. I believe that none of us have ever fallen in love unwillingly. It's always a choice we make. We like a person or desire a person, and even as we grow fonder of a person, we still make the ultimate decision whether or not to allow ourselves to fall in love or not. Sometimes we may make that choice in the heat of the moment or without really thinking too much on this, and that's where many fail. You can be sure it doesn't have to be a whirlwind romance, but it does take two people to have the same mindset around this for it to last. Is there such a thing as the right Filipina? Well, as long as her intentions are genuine, then the rest may not matter so much, as the two of you have changed your mindset around what's required to make a good lasting relationship without setting your expectations too high as a couple. Anyway, I hope this has given you some things to think about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.